Hi. Okay, so this video is gonna be like a January wrap up slash mini book haul slash whatever the F I feel like talking about video. Yeah? Okay, so here we go. It is Friday, January 31st, and so it's the last day of January, and so I kind of want to do a wrap up of my resolutions and my reading and just all this stuff. So let me just go ahead. And then I went to the used bookstore today, and so I'm going to talk about some of the books or what I got. So firstly, so reading, I read, met my reading goal for the month. My reading goal for the month was 1 book, and I read 4. And hopefully, honestly, if I can do a marathon reading session tonight, I might get out 5. So, and I'll explain that in a minute. So the books that I did read this month are Animal Farm by George Orwell, which I really liked, even though it made me very sad, and I did a review on it. I finished up The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I also did a little review on that and talked about how much I liked it. I did like it, but it starts off very slow, so if you can just plug through, I was able to plug through, and I really liked the book. The third book that I read was Their Eyes Are Watching God, which I absolutely adored, and I did put a link to, I did do a review on that book because it was just everything. I'm telling you, I love that book. And the last book that I read was Water for Elephants, which I absolutely adored too, and I did a review on that one as well. So I had a wonderful month in reading. I loved every book that I read, and so I'm really glad about that. I'm excited. As far as the movies, I watched the movies that I was supposed to watch. I'm doing that whole AFI 100 this year, so I have to pick that back up. I haven't watched any movies in a while. I think the last one that I saw in its entirety was Vertigo, and that was some weeks ago, and so I need to pick it back up for the month of February because I think I have to watch like 5 books. Watch 5 movies per month in order to finish it by the end of the year, so I'm not sure which ones they're going to be, but I'll do a video about it later. As far as my knitting goes, I have not knit a stitch in 2014, and I have a pair of socks. Woo. That had a pair. So, I have a pair of socks that I'm working on for my son, and I only have like a tiny little bit left, so I'm going to make sure that I finish it today, just so I can say I finished a project in January, because I'm also supposed to knit 1 project a month. So, yeah, the knitting thing is not going that great, but the books thing is going fantastic, so I can't complain. And the videos are going pretty good too, because this is 31 videos for 31 days in January, so doing all right. Anyways, so let me talk about what I got from the bookstore. I went to the used bookstore today. That's the bookstore on 35th and Adams Avenue Books. I love that place. And I had originally gone there to get Water for Elephants because I read it. My friend let me borrow Water for Elephants, and I loved it, and so I want to have it because I do want to read it again. But when I got there, the one that they had was the movie poster cover and not the original cover, and I really just don't want Reese Witherspoon on my cover. Honestly, I'm not trying to be like a jerk, but the girl in the book is brown-haired and she's blonde, so sometimes I wonder when these people make these movies, like, do they actually read the books? Because, I understand you can't do a literal translation, but how hard is it to find a brown-haired actress or dye her hair? I'm saying, though. So, I'm sorry, like, that gets on my nerves. So, I don't want her on my cover, like, seriously. So, I was just like, nah, I'm good, and left it there, and I ordered it on Amazon for, like, literally 1 cent plus the $3.99 shipping, so it was $4. It's hardcover. Like, the other book at the used bookstore was paperback. This one's hardcover. Reese Witherspoon is nowhere in sight. And so, yeah. So, I'm glad about that. But anyways, I went there and looked around and got some things, and my husband was like, oh, you're going to the bookstore, pick me up something, because last time I went, I didn't get him anything, and he felt some type of way about that. So, he was like, pick me up something. But it's very hard for me to buy books for my husband, because we read so many different things. Like, I read almost no nonfiction ever. Like, I always read fiction. He's the opposite. He never reads fiction. I just got him to read The Hunger Games last year, which he did like. I got him to read To Kill a Mockingbird, which he also likes, but he feels like reading fiction is futile, so he just doesn't read it. So when he's like, get me a book, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So, if you hear like a noise in the background, they're doing landscaping in my apartments, and I'm right by my window because I like the way the sunlight looks, because my lamp just gives me really funky lighting. Anyways, moving right along. So, let me talk about the books that I did get. I got this book. It's Zora Neale Hurston, and it's 3 books. Jonas Gordvine, Mules and Men, and then Their Eyes Are Watching God. I already have Their Eyes Are Watching God. I really, after reading Their Eyes Were Watching God, I really wanted to read some more Zora Neale Hurston because I just love her writing so much. And they had Jonas Gourdvine and Mules and Men separately, and I don't like buying books like this where it's like 3 books in one. I hate that, honestly. But this one was only $6, $6.50, and it's 3 books, and Jonas Gourdvine and Mules and Men combined, and I wanted both of them, and I just could not. I couldn't pick because I don't have a lot of money, so I was like, I have to pick one. And I was like, oh, like, I can't pick one. So this one had both. And it was the same price as one of them was. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get this and I'm just going to have to eat it. So I got that and I'm really excited about that because of Mules and Men, I think, is the one I'm most excited about reading. Because I guess it has a lot of African-American folklore and mythology. And so I'm super, super excited about that. I also got The Alchemist by Paul Coelho. I'm excited about this one, too, because it's like an international bestseller, and I think my sister told me it's like one of her favorite books of all time, so I'm super excited about reading this. And I also want to get The Devil and Miss Prim, and I saw it there, and I was going to buy it, but like I said, I don't have a lot of money, so I had to do what I had to do. Decisions had to be made, so I got the international bestseller, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, so I'm excited about that. So what did I get for my husband? I got Makes Me Want to Holler. By Nathan McCall. He likes books about African-American stuff. And so he loves reading books about slavery and Black Power and all the stuff like that. And I remember this book from when I was a kid because a lot of my mom's friends had read it and they were just raving about how great this book was. And my mom read it. And it's definitely something that's up my husband's alley because he kind of grew up in the San Bernardino area and got mildly tangled up in gangs when he was a teenager and stuff like that. So, and that's kind of what happened with this guy. And he went to prison and stuff. And so I figured that this would be something that my husband would really like. And so I picked that up. And so hopefully he likes it. If not, I don't know what to tell him. Pick your own books. And then I got this one, which I'm super excited about giving to him. And I wish I could like film his reaction because I'm really excited about giving him this book. It's called Finding Your Writer's Voice by Thaisa Frank, I don't know if I pronounced that right, and Dorothy Wall. It was chosen by Writer's Digest as one of the best books of the year. And I'm really excited about giving this book to him because my husband is trying to write a novel himself, which is ironic since he does not read fiction. But he's writing a novel, and he loves to write, and he writes poetry and things like that. And I just walking past the table and seen this on the table, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pick this up for my husband and see if maybe there's some wisdom that he can glean from this book. So I hope he's excited about that one because I like getting him little cutesy things that he likes because he always gets me really good stuff, and sometimes he's just really kind of hard to buy for, and I have like so many like cute little interests and stuff that it's kind of easy for him to kind of like, oh babe, I got you some yarn or just something. But with him, he doesn't really do a whole lot, so sometimes it's like, I don't know what to get you, but I'm excited about this one because I think he'll really like it. So, anyways. And then I got this, Green Eggs and Ham. This is like my favorite Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham. I love this book, seriously. And I didn't have it, so I saw it, and it was like $5 or something like that. $3.50. And so I bought it for my kids, ostensibly, but it's really for me. So, I'm excited. All of my books, none of them were more than $6.50. So, I'm telling you, I love that place. It is the bomb. So that is my little mini book haul. And the reason why I went to the bookstore, another reason why I went to the bookstore is because for the month of February, because it is Black History Month, I am only going to read books written by African-American authors. So, I said in my other video that I was going to start The Fault in Our Stars. But then my husband was like, babe, it's Black History Month. You have to read books by Black writers. And I was like, you're right. So I downloaded The Bluest Eye on my Nook by Toni Morrison to read. And I started it last night. But then my husband was like, why did you download this book to the Nook? Because I'm reading a book on the Nook right now. And so we're going to be fighting over the Nook. And the Nook is really his, but it's mine, but it's his, but it's mine. I bought it for him, and then when he got his iPad, he gave it to me, but he still downloads books and uses it, and so we kind of go back and forth between who's using it. So there'll be times when I'm using it a lot, and he hardly ever uses it, and then it goes back, and he's using it, and I'm hardly ever using it. Well, now we both have a book that we're reading on it. So we came up with a compromise that he'll take it to work, and then when he comes home, I can have it. But in the meantime, during the day, what am I going to read? So my son had an appointment, and I said to myself, okay, well, I'm just going to bring The Fault in Our Stars with me and just kind of get started. I don't want to read another book. And I'm not one of those people that can read 2 books at another time. So I started reading this, and I was kind of like, I might try to stay up and have a marathon session, try to finish this book today because I'm just already hooked. And I just started reading it. And so we'll see what happens if I can read it in one day. I haven't done that in years, so I don't even know if that's going to be possible for me. But I really do want to read it. And I saw the trailer, and I bawled crying, even though I haven't read the book. But the trailer did really make me cry because just with my son having cancer and then my friend's son just dying recently, it just hits kind of close to home. So I was like, oh, like this is going to be kind of emotional, but I'm going to read it anyways. And I'm liking it so far from what I read. And it's also written in first person, which I really like. Because like I said, I like when books are written in first person. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, so there is my wrap up for my month in reading and my little book haul and what I'm reading currently. I started The Bluest Eye. I kind of like it, you know, from what I've read so far. And it's a short book, so it should only take me like a day or two to read it. It's like 143 pages. So I'm looking forward to that, finishing that up, and then I think I'm going to start on my books by Zora Neale Hurston, and I may try to read Black Boy by Richard Wright this month, and try to see what some other very popular African Americans, because a lot of the ones that are really popular I've already read, like The Color Purple, and some other ones, but I did try to find Beloved at the used bookstore and they didn't have it. And so I might try to read that one this month as well because like I said, I've tried to read it twice and never got through it. And so I promised myself that I was going to read that book. So this might be the month that I do it, but it depends on how I do with the other ones. And I might even read That Makes Me Want to Holler book that I got for my husband because it just sounds like an interesting story even though it's nonfiction. It looks like a really good book. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's it. Everybody, I hope you have a great weekend. The San Diego Black Film Festival is this weekend, and so I'm going to try to see if it's possible that I can kind of sneak in there. But my sister is broke, so I don't know. But even if not, I should have a relatively, you know, decent weekend. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? It's a weekend. But I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Happy reading, happy living, and bye.